Kay joins us live here on the phone. So, Kay, talk to us a little bit about this topic.
Well, it's a question that really shocked me. I made a documentary called Gotaways. Now, I made that with Charlotte Cuthbertson, who's a senior reporter for Epoch Times, and Epoch TV put this together and asked me to help. And when I went to the border, everyone knows there's a problem there. I think everyone knows about it now. We've known for years. And so I was there 2 years ago reporting. And when I saw cartel members up close and personal bringing people across the border and Border Patrol having their hands tied, they could do nothing except for process these people, I was really shocked. But what shocked me more, and what we go into in this movie, is that, Americans, and you see so many of them as we catch them and arrest them with the sheriffs in Kinney County, Texas, they catch Americans who've been duped, lured by cash, to go to the border. They're driving there, they're flying there, they're getting U-Haul trucks, and they're they're smuggling illegal immigrants who usually have a criminal record. That's why they're not coming through the front door. They wouldn't get in any other way. They're bringing criminals into the country, and they're getting arrested for it. And we show all of that in this movie.
Kay Rubisek with us today. She joins us live here on our big broadcast. So based upon what you and Charlotte have seen from this 2-year experience, what would you say it's fairly simple to convince some Americans to help illegal citizens into this country? Talk to us about it.
Well, look, we know the economy's in a bad state, and a lot of people are looking for extra ways to earn cash. And so on social media, especially a lot of it's not just young people, but there are a lot of young people that are being targeted by human trafficking, human smuggling syndicates, cartel members and things, and they're pretending to be someone else, and they're flashing around wads of cash on social media. And they're saying, if you come to the border and just help these people cross over, we're going to pay you this cash. And we're talking thousands of dollars per head they're promising. And what they're not telling you is that these are not immigrants. These are not people that just don't know how to fill in a form and find the front door, right? These are not those people. These are most likely criminals. And they're not telling you that you're being a smuggler. They're just saying, come over and just give these people a ride, and we'll give you a few $1,000s cash. They're being duped. And a lot of it comes down to money. But it's not just cash incentives. It's not just people who are being totally duped. We even have an immigration attorney who was cuffed by the sheriff's department because he was also human smuggling. So some people know what they're doing and some people don't.
We have got a great guest with us today. Joins us live. Kay Rubisek is with us, the producer and editor of the new Epoch Times documentary, Gotaways. Discusses the appeal and consequences from helping illegals slip by. So how has been everything received? Talk to us a little bit about this.
Well, we released this just about a month ago now, and it really received well because, look, before I went to the border, I thought I knew what was going on because I'd read about it. I'd seen some reports about it. I was looking into it. But when you go there, it's a whole nother world. The locals there in Kinney County, where we focused, they're calling this a war zone. And when you see it, it changes your perspective, because I think too many people now, we all feel like, I know about the border. We've got this border fatigue. Feel like, I can't do anything about this issue. It's too big. I've got to leave it to the government to solve this problem. It's not like that when you actually go and see it. And the people who are living on the border, they're our front line. So this documentary takes you right on the front line, and we didn't just go there for a couple of weeks or a day and bring you back some talking heads sitting there and talking about it. Our director, Charlotte Cuthbertson, was there for 2 years, stationed in Kinney County, and she got access to, footage and riding along with sheriffs and high-speed car chases and arrests and everything that you just don't see anywhere else. So this is an action-packed 1-hour documentary. that will just open your mind and really take you to the border. So once you experience it and then you see how the locals are dealing with it, it should help everyone get a better perspective, because the problem is heading to your doorstep if it's not already there, because these illegal immigrants with criminal backgrounds are already going through the country. 1.7 million that we know of, but it's far, far more than that.
We've got Kay Rubisek with us today. She joins us live here on our big broadcast, talking a little bit about her latest project. So what would you say, we're seeing a lot more younger people helping them out, or is it really different types of Americans?
Well, it's everyone. I'll give you a couple examples. There was a couple in their 60s who said they're trying to make ends meet. They wanted to make some extra cash. They came down to the border. There's a woman in her, I believe she's in her 40s. She came from Georgia. She hired a U-Haul truck, and she was caught. And it's a felony for she was lying to the department. That was the DPS, the Texas authorities who caught her. But then she came out with the truth, and she'd been convinced that she could earn some cash per head for these people. They were all arrested. A boy, 15 years old, another young man, 22 years old, who he was interesting. He said that he had a lawyer on retainer. So obviously he'd done it before. He'd received the cash. He knew what he was doing was wrong, and he came back again. But this time he got caught. So we're seeing all types, different backgrounds, different skin colors, different ethnicities, different locations across the country. So social media is reaching everyone everywhere.
We have got a great guest with us today. Joins us live here on our big broadcast. KayRubisek.com is the official website. Go over to KayRubasek.com. Do you believe they understand the risk that comes with helping immigrants and the potential jail time and fines that follow?
No, I think some do. I think, an immigration attorney who was, one example, he was arrested and caught human smuggling. You can't tell me that he didn't know what he was doing. But then, maybe a 15-year-old probably didn't know. Maybe the elderly couple didn't know, and they're not being told in these advertisements. The advertisements don't say, come and participate in crime and, we'll give you cash for it. No, they're saying, come and bring these poor immigrants across the border and we'll give you money to help you. So they're not telling people the truth. And I think if people knew the consequences of it, it's a felony for getting caught for human smuggling. And it's also, a lot of these people are trying to evade police. So the sheriff will come up behind them and maybe suspect that there's human smuggling, because there's a lot of people in the car or something like that. They know how to identify these things. And so they'll ask the car to pull over. It'll be a traffic stop. And often those cars will take off because they know they're going to be caught. And then there's these high-speed chases, and we take you in on a few of those in the movie, up to 120 miles per hour. And then they're having these massive accidents because you can't sustain trying to get away from the authorities at 120 miles per hour with illegal immigrants in the back seat. And the people are really getting hurt. And so are our sheriffs and other law enforcers too, because this is just really, these high-speed chases are even happening in front of schools, and the schools are having to lock down even a few times a week because it's just so dangerous, and this is happening all the time.
We have got a great guest with us today. She joins us live here on our big program, Coast to Coast, Border to Border on iHeartRadio. Gotawayfilms.com is the official website. Go over. The film's official website is gotawayfilms.com. You can learn more about Kay Rubisek at her website, kayrubisek.com. Is there a better way that the Border Patrol and other government agencies can warn Americans about helping these illegal immigrants?
Oh, yes, they certainly could, but They're really not. You know, if you look at the Border Patrol website, they've kind of got their hands tied because they've got eyes, right? These are agents, they're there on the border, they see exactly what's going on. But their hands are tied because they are being told that, you know, their directive is to keep terrorists and their weapons out. And because they're not calling these illegal immigrants, these gotaways, they're not calling them terrorists or not looking at their criminal records, then they're just turning a blind eye. So this is why it's really important for Americans to actually know this, because they're not being told by border authorities. And I'll give you a little example. When I was on the border reporting in 2021, so this is 2 years ago, we already knew this was a really serious situation back then, and it's only just escalated like insanely. I was in one bend in the Rio Grande River, you know, the border with Mexico in south of Texas, and in 4 hours, I witnessed about 200 people being brought across in a raft, over and over again, being ferried over by a cartel member. And they were just feet away from me. And that cartel member had no, was so brazen. Wasn't even worried that we had our camera lights on him or anything. And you see a little bit of this guy in the movie. And Border Patrol, all they could do was just process the people that he brought over. No one was going after the cartel member. National Guard there, they could do nothing. They stood there and they helped the illegal immigrants to not slip on the dangerous rocks in the dark. And very wet and slippery. I was slipping and sliding into the river all over the place. Really dangerous. And this was one bend in one river, one time. And these were the give-ups, right? We've got to get the language right, because that's what Border Patrol calls them. They call them give-ups because these are women and children. They come across, Border Patrol has to take them, process them. But meanwhile, just down in another bend in the river, I could see in the dark another raft come across where there was no Border Patrol, no National Guard, and that's the gotaways being brought across, maybe with weapons and drugs. And they're the gotaways, the ones who would never be allowed in from with Border Patrol. And they're the ones that we see in our movie because no other media is really talking about them, and that the numbers are huge.
We have got a great guest with us today. Joins us live here on our big program. So tell us more about the Gotaways and what viewers can learn from what you and Charlotte have put together here.
Well, we got it. Yeah, this term Gotaways. We called the movie Gotaways because people aren't talking about it, but we have to know these are the people that are coming to our towns. They're going to, because the ones that we see captured in the film, we know where they're going. So some of them are even going as far as Vancouver. They're going to New York. They're going to California. They're going to Washington State. They're going really everywhere. And so these people are coming to your town. And that's why we need to know who's coming, and we need to be getting the words right, because we look at the media and everyone knows there's a border crisis, right? But we look and we think, oh, it's all women and children, and we start to get confused thinking these are people who are really suffering and then they need to come into the country. We need to protect them. But we need to recognize that these are actually people coming illegally, and there's a difference. The media are not giving us the numbers of gotaways. We need to know the gotaways, yes, and we need to know the give-ups. This is really important. So people are going to get that clearly from this movie.
We have got a great guest with us today. She joins us live. Kay Rubasek is with us here on our big program. And we are going to take a 60-second timeout here with Kay. And when we come back, we are going to keep chatting with her. 60-second timeout. We're going to put her on a brief hold. And Kay Rubasek back with us here in about 60 seconds.
Are you ready to unlock your child's